All right, let's get this underway. Under the red banner, we have the Centurions. Their first ship is the RAS Napoli, a Pyramidium being piloted by Blue. Gat mortar forward with carronade and flare gun on the port side. We've also got the RAS Serrano, a goldfish being piloted by Assault Pig. Hellhound heavy carronade on the front with a Banshee on the port side and Flamer on the starboard for some fire action.
And then for the blue team, we have the Fancy, piloted by Daniel. Slightly different this time around with the Hades on the top deck, and still got that Artemis Kara on the lower deck, Artemis Flamer on the top decks. And then the oh-so-familiar but slightly different Lib ATK, which has got Hades Lumber Flak left this time, with Kara Watcher right, and that beautiful little flare gun on the rear.
I think that anytime you take flak, it's a bold choice. Now, Lib ATK already has the Serrano on it. Napoli, however, not looking great. Fancy doing quite a number, and it's going to bounce its armor down already.
Yeah, the Napoli got itself in a real nasty position and lost quite a bit real quick. And now as he pokes through the wreckage here, he's going to be, right in front of that galleon.
Little bit of Watcha. Some of it goes wide. No component disables, just damage.
Mm-hmm. And
ATK
that damage
still dropping.
Yeah, that damage will make your weapons turn slower, shoot slower, and do less damage, so that is still a factor.
A Serrano losing its armor, taking a little bit of chip. This is how you kill a Goldie. You chip away at it slowly. However, it is coming in close for the Hades. It's looking to drop in behind the Fancy and pop that balloon.
However,
Look at that swing.
Lib ATK is trying to get his close range weapons to point at the Napoli. He's got his balloon out, and his hull is so dangerously close to dropping.
There we go. Flamethrower going out on Lib ATK as well. Napoli has great arcs despite being so damaged. Fancy trying to take it out before it can damage Lib ATK, and they get it.
And now this puts them in a really good position of a 2-on-1 on the Serrano. That galleon does not have to pay attention to a ship that is no longer there, and they are turning their long-range side, that beautiful upward arc of that lumberjack, to do some damage on the Serrano, who is trying to get out of there as fast as his little engines will carry him.
First shots come in, and they look gorgeous. First two go into the balloon, but they don't get the pop. Fancy in the meantime, getting good shots. The Artemis. They're looking for it. Mobula's turning to keep the guns in arc, and that's going to throw them off a little bit. Serrano looks to be out of there, but that's going to give the Ryders the first blood.
Yeah, and the way that scoring is set up on 2v2s and 3v3s is it takes 2 complete kills of the enemy team and then +1. So, on 2v2s, it's first to 5. So, first engagement can net you 2 kills, second engagement can net you 2 kills, and you need one, random third kill, or one random third engagement to swipe up that one last kill. And similar in a 3v3, it's first to 7. So, first engagement 3, second engagement 6, and then 1 spare ship. So, they've already collected that 1 spare ship, and now just need to win the next 2 engagements. And they have gotten this victory.
Look at the approach on this Blenderfish. Lib ATK's balloon is down. It's going to go for the Fancy next, but holy cow. It just watches its ally crumble. Great approach for the Serrano, but the combined damage of the Fancy and Lib ATK was just way too much, and now the Serrano's in trouble. Puts fire down on the Fancy, forces it down to the ground, but Lib ATK has great arcs.
Boom, all the flak landed just a moment too early. Second one landing at a much better time, and just absolutely obliterating that Goldfish's armor just wide. Second one connects armor up. However, he's still taking damage, and even if the flaks aren't landing, everything else is, and he is just not destined to be on this planet too much longer.
There they go. Flag Gunner gets to watch. Now, here's something important. Even if the flak doesn't land the way that it wants to, what that means is that the crew, the engineers on that ship have to make armor a priority. So that means that the balloons popped, they still have to focus on armor. They can't take the time to go to the balloon because otherwise they're going to get flaked, and that's it. Yeah. So it's basically having that flak there, even if it doesn't land, it creates a no-win situation for whoever's getting targeted.
That's a very good point. Actually, I've never considered that before, and that is absolutely 100% true, and just goes to prove that I don't engineer all that often at all.
It's the threat. You bring the galleon for the threat of
Mm-hmm.
potential damage, not for the actual damage that it puts out.
Although,
Although
as
it does
showcased
do a
by
lot
that
of
last,
damage.
yeah, although showcased by that last engagement, holy damage! It just
Yeah,
melted. That melted the
approaching.
poor Napoli.
You can't approach a galleon broadside that way.
Mm-mm.
It's way too much.
I mean,
Now the Serrano again, getting a great approach, but the Napoli. Okay, so this time, Rydr's splitting their fire a little bit more, but the Serrano getting chipped away already by the Fancy.
Yeah, I don't know why the Live ATK stopped that. I guess maybe the heavy flak was a little bit out of arc. Serrano's coming in kind of high.
Hellhound down. Fancy getting great flamethrower on the Serrano.
Yeah, Serrano's got weapons down. Everything but the hull is on fire right now. Those beautiful Lesmok rounds extending the range just enough to seriously make a difference.
However, got Mortar Pure on the Fancy. Fancy doesn't care. This is one of the strong suits of Immobula's dealing with Gat Mortar Pures.
Yeah, especially being able to balloon block by going up. So
Yeah.
if you got something like this galleon here, which is popping balloons, and holy flak is doing so much armor damage, then you know if he's popping balloons, you can go up, and then not only are you blocking with your balloons, you're also dropping out of arcs.
Now Serrano not able to get that Hellhound up. The Artemis in close range is too much. Armor's down, Flamer's burning. Double Artemis is just way, way too much.
Yeah, and again, the galleon is providing excellent support from afar, and is just absolutely ripping this poor thing to pieces, and now gets to turn its full attention to the Napoli, who has lost weapon. Balloon is all but gone.
Going for the ram. Goes
Not-
into the armor. Armor will hold, but only barely. Now the Gatling trying to go into those guns. You can see them targeting it, but it doesn't get anything. Fancy from the back, firing Hades, firing Artemis. I think this is going to be another 5-0. Riders go on to the semis.
Oh boy, and that closes off our first seed, right? Rob and Dan had the other two down in
Yep.
the lower.
That's going to be round 1.